For the past year and a half, I have been working on some new content, and I realized that there is no better time to bring it forth into the world than right now. This is when it's needed most. So it's a concept that I've been researching for a year and a half called adaptive thinking. And adaptive thinking is a strategy that helps you think more flexibly and make decisions more successfully when you're facing change and uncertainty, which is right now. So I was just earlier today, I was sharing some of the strategies with a conference out of California virtually, and I realized I wanted to share them with you. So I want to tell you something that you can do to start the process of thinking adaptively. For the past couple weeks, I have had the privilege of watching this couple out of Austin, Texas, do this so well. Kendall and Joe Antonelli, they're a young couple, young kids, and they own a cheese shop here in Austin. So you can go in, you can work with their cheesemongers, pick the perfect cheese that pairs with whatever you're serving, or you can go to one of their cheese tasting events. All this happens in their store, but not right now. So Kendall and Joe did one of the fastest pivots I've ever seen. And I want to walk you through a process of what that can look like. So take out a piece of paper and grab a pen, and I want you to divide the paper into quadrants, right? So one line this way, one line this way. And in the top right-hand corner, I want you to put some things that you always do, right? What are some things that you always do in your work, for example? You always have this meeting, you always run this report, okay? And then in the top right hand, so that's the top left hand, in the top right hand, I want you to put the way you've always done it. So, at my office, sitting at my desk, by myself, or with a team of 4 people, or, over a period of 3 weeks. It takes this long. The parameters, right? So we've written in the top left quadrant what we always do, and in the top right quadrant, how we've always done it, the ways that we do our work. So Kendall and Joe Antonelli, they had a successful business until everything changed. And all of a sudden, within 2 days, they made this quick pivot. They had a virtual cheesemongers in their shop, ready to virtually take people on tours on FaceTime and help them pick the right cheese. And they'd even pull out, you couldn't taste samples, of course, but they'd show you the cheese and they'd bend it and be like, oh yeah, this one's soft, this one's flexible, this one snaps. So, this is a cow cheese versus a goat cheese, and you could pick up your order. And then by that weekend, I'm scrolling Facebook on Saturday night. I'm doing nothing. We're all doing nothing. I'm in my sweats. You're probably in your sweats. But I saw on Facebook, Kendall and Joe Antonelli, their kids, sitting at the dining room table, and they were having a virtual cheese tasting. Instead of having it at the shop, people went on their website, bought a cheese platter, and logged on to Facebook Live at 6:30 p.m. And there were Kendall and Joe walking them through the cheese tasting just like they would have in person. I go on their website and I'm like, oh, I want to do that next weekend. Sold out. Following weekend, sold out. Next one, sold out. And I'm thinking, this is amazing. Their business is doing incredibly well at a time when other businesses are shutting down. Kendall and Joe may be serving more people because they're not limited by the size of their building, the number of chairs that they have. They're not limited by the spaces in their parking lot. They're not limited by when people can get a babysitter or not. So I want you to take a look at those bottom 2 quadrants. And in the bottom left quadrant, I want you to write new things you could be doing. What are some new ideas that you've had? Or maybe ideas that you had in the past. Maybe you brought them to leadership, but maybe, it wasn't the right time. Maybe it wasn't the right environment. Well, everything's changed. Maybe it is now. So what are some new things you could do that haven't been done before? And in the bottom right quadrant, that's really where Kendall and Joe made magic. The bottom right quadrant is look up above at that top right quadrant, the things you always do and the way you've always done them. Are there new ways to do the things you've always done? If you've always done something in the office, can you do it virtually like Kendall and Joe Antonelli? If you've always done it at a team of this size, or you've always done it over a period of this time, how can you make pivots that will keep you relevant in a time like this? The more flexibly we can think, the more edits we can do. It doesn't mean you have to blow everything up. Change does not mean you have to start completely over from scratch. but how can you think adaptively and innovate what you're already doing well to take it forward into this new world? That's one of the foundational thoughts of adaptive thinking, and I'm excited to come at you in the coming days and introduce more of adaptive thinking to you, because it is so relevant for what we're all facing right now. I'm thinking about you.